receiving end of a lot of damage. North knows they need to be very careful with and selective with how they're peeking here. You can tell they're playing both sides of this height in terms of being able to peek that low ground, but knowing that shots are also coming in from that northeast as well. Need to be very careful.
RPR no longer in the mix, unfortunately. And North just fighting with two. Fenerbahce down below, threatening pretty well. The massive shots are actually really doing work for them. They're taking a little aggressive move, trying to go into Verace's boxes, but that should give them a little bit of a different vantage point from the top. And I think North may be able to take advantage of it. In fact, they do. They got one down. It's Pinky Finky again. Will Pinky Finky do what we all know he needs to do? Clutch up or get the heck out of there. He says, I'm getting the heck out of here. I can't fight 5 people, and he's definitely not going to be able to pull that one off. 6 squads left from 8. 5 squads left now. Look at the chaos unraveling North. Bonde, he's just going to make it right at the edge, but even he will go down, and that will be in the hands of Kick.
And yeah, LG and GSD still a lot in the feed, but just as fast as I say that, Castagna the last one alive, and it might be the end, and Kick as well. So right now, of those 3 that we just mentioned, GSD without a doubt in the best position.
GSD looking to repeat after Dell's heroics. Can the whole squad stay alive to do it? They were in the prime position. It's Nasky, Strafe, and Dell. We saw the Cobra Kai melee, and they're going to take the portal up. Do a little sci-fi action here as well. Beautiful stuff here from both teams. Strafe goes into the 1v1, but Mady, he shows up big time. Nice wingman shots. Who's going to go and help him? It's Nasky now. Dell living with a prayer and 50 health, and he's got time to shield that. Why not? Play it slow. Mady might be the only one alive here, and they know it. Moving in cautiously. Triple take and a devotion in hand. He's going to rock that. Beautiful little bunny up there on the ropes. Oh, my goodness. But it's JMW. Can he finish this off? It is Nessie. Takes down GSD. We have a new champion in Game 4 of the EMEAs, and it's Nessie claiming the day.
That is the X-Triumph squad, and my God, what an ending there. I can't wait to watch that back. Hopefully, maybe we can get it from one or both of the POVs in terms of exactly how that played out with GSD turning that corner. But GSD actually the opening aggressor there against Nessie, and Nessie right away shut that down. They get the first knock, which really dictated how the later events would go. It's a important win for that side, without a doubt, as we take a look at exactly where they were in the table. But in the end, we'll have to see if any teams had enough points. If I take a look across in terms of GSD going to be the team that was the closest at 36 points. We have to see just how much KP they got with that second place in order to send them over. They could be the one that really that's in striking distance, third impact as well. But going to be exciting to see what the scoreboard and the overall standings look like going into this next game.
Totally, bro. I mean, I think Nessie, with 18 points coming into this, as I just checked, this is going to really help them. They're going to be in that 20 to 30 point range, and they're really going to have an opportunity now to, next game, push through to the match threshold. As far as GSD, though, after a big game in Game 3, now Game 4 coming in second place, their vantage point seemed like it was definitely good enough to pick up a lot of thirst, a lot of kills, a lot of downs. So I feel like we could see them with a higher point total than maybe it looked like towards that end. Obviously losing out on that duel. Great acrobatics there all the way through. Couldn't quite finish it. Nessie claims that game. And for more on the action, let's send it back to the desk with Kate and Tom.
Thank you, guys. And yeah, man, we started Game 4 with this, as they said, patient lobby. And boy, was it patient until we got all-out chaos. Tom, bring me through exactly what we just saw today. How did Nessie pull this one out?
Yeah, well, first, Kate, I want to make sure that you know the rules of Cobra Kai. Can you name the first rules of Cobra Kai?
I cannot. I can't do it. Tom, tell me all the rules.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Okay?
No, that's the
There's no fear in this dojo, Kate. There's no fear in this dojo.
Oh, Tom, I love you so much. This is stellar context for Apex Legends, Tom. I don't even know where to go from there. Let's talk Nessie.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nessie surprisingly took advantage of GSD's overconfidence there. So they got a little bit split up on the GSD side. I think that they already knew that they had the points most likely. So when we go and look at this, I wouldn't be surprised if GSD had already secured those points, or maybe they got a little too excited and they really wanted to Cobra Kai and strike first and take no mercy. So we'll see what happens when we go and look at those points. But I have a feeling that GST just got a little overconfident in that fight, ended up pushing Nessie, thinking maybe they were split or thinking that they were weaker than they actually were. And it was just a great job. Nessie coming out, hitting the shots that they needed. It was not an easy fight. You saw how useful that zip line was. They were able to just kind of bounce around, strafe off of that one, and ended up taking the win there. There's much needed points here because we will possibly be seeing 1 to 2 teams now at match point.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at those Game 4 results and see if we can do some quick math and then into our overall. Let's see. Game 4, once again, Tom, I'm telling you right now, I mean, Nasky, Strafe, and Dell bringing in the 8, LG bringing in the 9, but no double digits again. This is a real telling Game 4.
Yeah, so GSD going into Game 5 is going to be the only team that is going to be on match point. We see North, they're just short. They needed 9 points. They did not get that total. So they're going to have one more game under their belt, and they're going to be the next closest most likely. So a very nice job by GSD setting themselves up for success. How did they do that? They did it with a strong Kings Canyon performance, Kate.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw 2 Kings Canyon, but then again, here we go. Tossing them back into World's Edge. We'll see how they do. This is definitely one of those moments that Nasky, Strafe, and Dow, they're the storybook team. We love them to death. Well, they're all over social. They're definitely a fan favorite. And now they have the ultimate benefit right now. Right now, if they're a match point, which it looks like they are, we think. I'm not going to say anything until overall standings are there. But if that is the case, they have the ultimate momentum going into this Game 5. Holy gosh. In fact, let's see it. Overall stats. Tom, talk to me.
Yeah, let's see who's close to GST. I think that's the thing is watch out for North. They're right on the cusp. And it's Nessie sneaking in, but there it is too. Look at the other teams right behind that. You have LG that's super close, Gambit that's super close, Alliance, Third Impact Black, Kick, and then major pushers, Flavor of the Month. I'd say they're within striking distance. It's not too bad. It's not far-fetched, but you gotta gatekeep. You gotta watch out for GSD right now. And if you're GSD, you have to know that's gonna happen to you. So what do you do here? I would say play low key. I would say take your time, get into good positions, find yourself in this end circle, and then strike first. Strike hard, no mercy.
Words to live by, Tom. That is to be sure. Well, and this is going to definitely be, this could be Nasky, Strafe, and Dell's moment. This could be their game. This could be Game 5 for them in more ways than one. We haven't seen a match. We haven't seen a win on Game 5 in all of our tournaments, both Apex South, Apex North, Apex Now. It's like Thresher. There's a lot of words going on in my mind today. But at any rate, we've seen an APEC North, APEC South, our Americas, none of those areas, none of those regions had anybody winning before Game 6. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how we do here. At this point, I mean, Tom, it's hard to talk about sometimes because there's just so many elements to this game, to this tournament that you have to think about. Not only are we new into Season 6, of course, which comes with its own changes in the meta and the new addition of Rampart, amongst other things, nerfs, buffs, but now it's like, now we're coming into a new map here, back to our original map here, and there's just so much that could happen.
Yeah, and every game that goes by, we have to look at the potential of teams being on match points doubling. So we're looking at one team right now, that's GSD. I think after this game, we're for sure going to have North. And then as we go into Game 6, we're looking at possibly 4 teams, 5 teams. And then we go into the next game, we're looking at possibly 8 teams being on a match point. And that's what's so crazy about this format. And that's why GSD has to take this advantage going forward now. And they have to use it, try to pull it off here. You want to do something similar that CLG did in the North America area, where you don't want to give other top teams the chance to go and get there. You don't want these alliances, Gambits, to go and show up and be on match point and have the opportunity to win that. You want to take that away from them, take that opportunity, and go and grab the bull by the horns and try to win this thing.
And exactly right, Tom. I'll say this, Complexity from our Americas region, they came in second, even though they had 80-something points. They were also the top of our leaderboards for the longest time. They were the first to make match point, but then CLG comes in, and you know what? You're absolutely right. GSD is definitely in that position that could potentially be the best or maybe not the best. So we'll see what happens here, but let's take a look at that final moment and see exactly how they brought it out, how Nessie, our former Triumph team, became our final circuit champs for Game 4.
Yeah, it started off by getting the knock onto Strafey, so the fact that Strafey ends up going down, you don't know how many players are sitting inside of this building. The fact that you feel like they're camping inside there makes it feel like you're weak, right? Maybe they only have 2 players, maybe they're getting a res, whatever it is. So GSD feels like they can go and charge that. They know that they're confident, but here's the thing, Kate. They wouldn't make that play as aggressively if they knew they didn't already have the points secured. They had the 8 kill points. They already knew that they were top 2. That's going to be over 50. So they tried to go and just ego their way in there, play extra aggressive, play extra confident, and it just didn't work out for them. On the other end, though, Nessie's going to take those points gladly, get the 12 placement points, get those kills on the board, and see what you can do now. And they're in striking distance in terms of being able to get on a match point going into game number 5. And now we're off Kings Canyon, going into World's Edge. We saw North coming out strong on World's Edge. We saw GSD coming out strong on Kings Canyon. Is that a coincidence? I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how these games unfold so we could find out what the case is.
Well, and one of the things that Super Regionals and Finals here, playoffs, will showcase are those teams that are good and dominating on both maps. And that is definitely something that can help you find your way through this nightmare of a lobby, which is just so much fun for the rest of us to watch. Hey, listen, speaking of watching, if you would like to watch us, we are on everywhere. If you go to twitch.tv/playapex, we are there. Give us a free follow. We're certainly happy to have you. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/playapexcompete. And hit us up on the Twitters @playapex. Remember, if you are featured on our show, we'll give you 1,000 Apex coins. But in order to be featured, you got to follow us @playapex and use the hashtag ALGS. So here's the deal. We are getting back into gameplay. Any last final thoughts, my friend?
No, I'm excited. We have 1 team on match point. Again, it's going to be much more intense once we start seeing more teams out there. It's GSD's opportunity to try to close this out and become the Summer Circuit champions.
There it is. Well, that elusive next game, our Game 5, coming right around the corner with Fallout and Bravo. But first, take this look.
Lenovo Legion offers gaming PCs that are stylish on the outside and savage on the inside. Lenovo Legion is the official PC and monitor of Apex Legends Global Series.
Battle with a machine that's as savage as you are. Lenovo Legion. Stylish outside, savage inside.
Match point is among us. This could be our potential very last game, and Nasky Strafey Adele can ride into the sunset with a victory, potentially. Bravo. I'm Fallout, joined alongside one of the best color commentators in Apex. It is Bravo, and Bravo, I gotta ask you, do you think they're gonna do it? Who do I think they're going to do it? If I have to place the bet, I'm going to say no. I'd love to see them do it here. I think they're playing in a way that it's absolutely going to set them up to be capable. This is no means a knock on how they're playing. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing, without a doubt. However, in terms of the odds and the statistics and the factors that go into a competitive Apex game, it's tough to call it right here that they're going to do it. Once again, the competition is so tight in Europe. That it's likely that we could see this game go in the distance. Of course, it's getting into the late afternoon, evening hours in Europe, of course, but for us here in the Americas, we're just getting the day started. So I think I speak for us as well as the players, where we're ready to go the distance if we need to. However, I do see them ready to send it here. You saw some of the tweets coming out from the players. They're hyped. They know they're on match point. They're the only team on match point. So we might see them, just like we saw yesterday, we might see them slow it down, play super conservative, and go for that big dub. And if they do it, they can close out the tournament right here, which would be pretty wild. Yeah, and you're, of course, as a color commentator, have to follow your brain there. I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to say they're going to do it. I feel good about a potential record-setting Game 5 win from Nasky Strafey and Dell. Keep in mind here, we are going back to World's Edge, as you see on screen right now. 2 games of World's Edge, 2 games of Kings Canyon, followed by 2 more of World's Edge, and so on and so forth. And we know Nasky Strafey and Dell are incredibly good on World's Edge. They're confident on World's Edge. This is the map in which they won 2 championships across the online tournament series and, of course, our Summer Circuit series this past summer. I feel good about a potential crazy finish here. Obviously, it is unlikely
And, you know, I think overall you're making the right call. But, you know, anything's clear. We know they like to drop Fragment West. We'll keep a close eye on Nasty, Strafey, and Dell to see if they will drop Fragment. It's kind of center map. They get a quick beacon with their Pathfinder, and they rotate early. If they can get themselves in a good late game position, if they can correctly guess where the last ring is going to be, I think Nasty, Strafey, and Dell can make history here.
And one thing we got to point out, big shout out to, of course, to all of our EA competitive gaming folks in the back, Guap, Mark Snyder, Gosei Hamid, John Nelson, Zach, as well as so many of the folks that are driving this tournament here from a stats perspective, as well as partners that are assisting. We have some excellent stats that are being fed to us. One of the biggest things I want to highlight is the fact that Nasky, Strafey, and Dell are on 36 placement points. The next closest is 29 from North, so they're not playing kill-heavy games here. Don't get me wrong, they still have 17 kill points on the board, but that's far from the first place or even second place in terms of kills. They have 36 placement points. They've played placement heavy so far in this playoff. Look for them to continue to do the same thing here. It's not crazy to think, based off of the way they're playing, they could close it out. It's not going to be easy, though, of course. And like T-Squared and so many others have alluded to throughout the day, they now have the big target on their back. This is not a lobby where there's 4 teams on match point and teams are peripherally aware of who's there. As soon as someone sees GSD and is able to find, maybe spot a knock in a chaotic battle, etc., if they get the knock themselves, they're going to be able to push this. They know that everyone's tournament hopes are on the line. If GSD is anywhere near that final 5, it'll be a big threat to the whole lobby. So as they get ready for their fragment rotation, expect lots of guns to be on them, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We saw it happen in the Americas with Complexity being the first team to reach match point. They got griefed so incredibly hard, but here's a little bit of a difference. Complexity rocks the Bloodhound team comp, so they're scanning every 10-15 seconds as Bloodhound. They're basically saying, hey, we're Complexity. Come kill us and avoid us winning this game. Nasky, Strafey, and Dell are running a Pathfinder comp that's a little bit more discreet. Of course, they do drop Fragment. My question was, is their team going to drop Fragment on top of them and try to grief them? And the answer is no. They got Fragment East entirely for free, and as a result of that, here comes the Nasky, Strafey, and Dell special. Early rotation, quick loot, and they are already flying to this next ring. So far, so good if you're a GSD fan, for them to be able to come out. In their last tournament as a team, by the way, Strafey did get signed by Navi. This is the last time they'll be playing as a 3-man unit. Will they end up on top? Will they make history with a Game 5 win? Which is crazy to think, Bravo, because it was Game 7 in APAC North, Game 7 in the Americas, Game 6 in APAC South. Can GSD do it in 5 games?
That is the question as they make this Western rotation. Of course, keep in mind, North has been in the 40s now, 2 games back-to-back, unable to get on match point. A heartbreaking past 2 games for them after leading, remember, 41 to the next closest was 28. They had that match point in the bag with a pretty consistent performance, unable to do it so far. They still sit 3 points away from match point. The next closest, there's a bit of a gap. We range from Nessie all the way down to third impact, and 3rd through 7th is just 39 through 36. So we want to start to paint this picture now for what these players are thinking about. Keep in mind, GSD and North know that there is an entire pack of 6 of the best teams in Europe that are ready to get on match point just after them. So really, this is the time for GSD. Soon it will be the time for North, assuming they have any sort of standard performance in this game. But just like we talked about in the other regions, you need to do this fast, because if not, the rest of the lobby, some of the best teams in the world, are right at your heels.
That's exactly right. Great job kind of setting up the storylines. The stage is certainly set. And jumping into gameplay here, I'll talk about what I just saw on screen. Nasky, Strafey, and Dell, yes, they make that early rotation that they're known for. TSM kind of perfected it. Nasky and Strafey and Dell followed it and perfected it to a T. And they actually are going to be smart. They're going to go all the way north and avoid center circle, avoid mid-map where they can get third party. They make the wide right and north rotation to circle. That's a brilliant decision. Not only that, they actually found a team, and you saw the pings come through. They wanted to try and catch that odd man out. Instead, you hear Nasky probably making the comms, hey, it's not worth it. We don't want to risk getting taken out in this team fight. They wisely decide to cut left towards Skyhook and make the rotation instead. Brilliant decisions coming through so far from Nasky, Strafey, and Dell. We'll keep a close eye on them as they are on match point in this brilliant match point format. But currently, we're going to jump on board with Major Pushers.
Yeah, taking a look here at Countdown to see what Major Pushers is up to. I believe we did see that first knock coming in. If I'm not mistaken, is either a Lava City Boys or a Fenerbahce in the feed that we did see. So we'll keep a very close eye on here. Of course, Countdown going to be a pretty big part of these rotations, as you already see. Like, for example, GSD taking that north tunnel route and getting all the way up into that north station, which is going to give them a lot of opportunities. But now Kick is not too far away towards the Lava Fisher side.
That's exactly right. On board with Kick, formerly SJP2. We, of course, had Nessie win last game. That's former Triumph. A couple team names that you might be familiar with if you've been watching the European region for quite some time. It has been amazing casting the European region for the last 9 months now and getting to kind of keep up with these teams, these rosters, so much competition. And, I kind of alluded to it, and T-Square brought up a great point and kind of added on top of it. This region is so competitive, unlike some other regions like APAC South, like the Americas. Europe is not as top-heavy. There's such an even spread of teams that could pop off at any given moment, whether it's Gambit, Alliance, Nasky, Strafey, and Dell, North. So many teams have won championships. It is so evenly spread across top teams. The Americas has kind of finally caught up, as it was TSM really dominating the first half of the season, the preseason. But really, in Europe, it has been an even spread of teams ever since, as we're going to jump back on board with Nasky, Strafey, and Dell here.
Yeah, they're actually just poking into trials to see what might be happening up here, not too far away at Uncharted Territories. You did see Ad Hoc Gaming holding that top drill, and we'll keep an eye on just in terms of where they go as well, because keep in mind, in Uncharted Territories, there's a lot of room for them to move and eventually gatekeep. Not crazy to think that those two teams could find one another within these next few minutes here. Major Pusher still hanging out at the bottom left part of Countdown as well, just looking at that sight line to see if anyone might push in. Going to have some opportunities to maybe loot up as well.
Yeah, it's going to be 25 esports, one of our LCQ teams, last chance qualifier teams getting eliminated here. So unfortunate for them, they will be taken out of this one. Not looking great for their situation. Meanwhile, North, another team we got to keep a close eye on. Bravo talked about it, 47 points. They're kind of like Sentinels from America or EXO from APAC South. If you've been with us for each and every broadcast, big shout out to people like Birdie who have been. But of course, North is devastated by the fact that they haven't reached match point yet, despite being so incredibly close. However, this game, this story is all about Nasky, Strafey, and Dell, who are on match point. And I want to go ahead and jump into an early listen-in with GSD, just to kind of get a feel of their comms. What are the comms like as they're now at match point? Let's listen in.
Yo, I'm gonna play on the other side alone and just key back if I get pressured. Just watch for someone dropping on us.
They just knocked somebody. I mean, Kick just knocked somebody from above.
You have Scout, Strafey?
No.
What's your weapons?
I have R301. And
you want Scout instead of R3?
And Eva, yeah.
Do you have anything scope on it?
No.
What take this?
No, I have side. I don't have for you. Yep.
Nice.
Does it already looted tryouts?
Yeah.
Is it looted?
I don't know. But we shouldn't do it because they'll shoot down on us.
And there you have it. The listening. There you have the listening coming in from Nasky, Strafey, and Dell. I want to just get a quick sense of their comms. And Bravo, it seems like calm, cool, and collected. And overall, I love their decision to go trials. They're predicting a northwest ring pull, and I think they're going to be right here, Bravo. This is prime conditions for GSD to close this out with a match point.
Certainly, of course, you hear them emphasizing exactly which players from Kick, what was happening in terms of the knocks and things like that, keeping a very close eye on kill feed without a doubt. Interesting mix, of course, on that team, as is the case with many of our EMEA teams. 3 different nations represented there, of course. Strafey representing the Ukrainian side, Sir Dell from Great Britain, the UK, as well as Nasky, the Danish player. So excited to see what they might be able to do here. They know that this is their time, and like you said, they sound calm, cool, and collected and ready to show up in this game. They have the placement points on the board. They just need to continue playing their game here in what could be our final game in Game 5.
Yeah, and I love, Bravo, that we just got a look, actually, courtesy of Kick Esports, at where the next ring is pulling, and guess what? It is pulling trials. A quick little lesson for any aspiring Apex players here. There's an algorithm and a little bit of a pattern that you can predict of where the ring is going to pull in Apex, where ring 3, ring 4, ring 5 may be, and it typically tends to pull in the same direction that it originally pulled. So what do I mean by that? If it pulls northwest, that ring will continue to generally pull northwest. That's why Nasky, Strafey, and Dell decided to go trials, because they recognize this ring's going to keep going northwest, and looks like they are right. A genius shot call coming through from GSD. You got to think they are primed and ready for a match point victory, making history, and again, riding off into the sunset, their last tournament as a roster. Again, I get borderline emotional having casted this GSD squad, who really worked their way up the ranks as an amateur team starting off. You know, Nasky was in Poland, got maybe top 20, top 30, top 50, and now is a top pro player, a staple in this tournament. I remember sitting next to him in the bus in Poland a year ago, and he looked at all these pro players with big eyes. He wanted to be a pro player one day. He worked hard. He found great teammates in Strafey and Dell, and he officially has a chance to be the best player in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region now. It's amazing to see.
And not surprisingly, a lot of teams posting up just on these outer cliffs outside of Trials, Kick, North, as well as AHG, all included in that conversation. And you have to think that eventually there's going to be information about who is inside Trials and some potentially very interesting strats. Maybe some crypto usage there is going to give a little bit of that info faster than it normally would in terms of finding out that it is indeed Nasky, Strafey, and Dell who are inside Trials. North is holding height, though. That, of course, is going to give them a lot of opportunities to gatekeep this entire area, and if they want and need to drop into Trials as well. Of course, unsurprisingly, GSD just going to hold doors and hold this down and see exactly where these next pulls go.
I'm going to point out here that I'm noticing in this setup, this reminds me a lot of, I think it was Game 5 of the Americas region, where Complexity kind of got caught lower countdown, and Rogue ended up winning the game. Well, Nasky, Strafey, and Dell were in the same exact position as TSM was in that game. We always draw comparisons to GSD and TSM. They both drop Fragment, they both play Pathfinder, they both rotate early. Well, they're in the same exact position, and important to note, in that game, the ring pulled out instead to where AHG is, Ad Hoc Gaming. So we'll see what happens here, what the fate is for GSD, and if they will be in the same fate as TSM, or does GSD have that it factor? Can they close it out? As we're currently on board Les Cite France, who of course is our last chance qualifying dominate team.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Rain Day, of course, keeping an eye on that, and also keeping an eye on multiple screens here as we watch this game, of course, when we're the casters that are out of the rotation, of course, intently watching several other POVs as well as these games go through. So much action to watch here in the playoffs without a day. But like you said, Cite de France just holding this edge, and they do find teams still playing in the ring there, still in Skyhook.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That could be dangerous for whichever team is sitting within ring right now. Keep on, it is ring 3, so they're going to take a bit of damage. And it's going to be Gambit. That is potentially costly here, Bravo, as Gambit's one of our teams within knocking distance of being at match point here. Gambit drops Sorting Factory, so that explains their wide north rotation, and that's why they're so late on this rotation. They, of course, weren't able to get to the northwest side as fast as they would have wanted to, come from the southeast side of the map.
Yeah, certainly. Gambit, a team, like we said, coming in with, without a doubt, the strongest performance going into playoffs across just about any region. First, fourth, second, third in their super regionals, and it's just going to be Artico who's going to have to pull out something amazing here and just going to spend as many heals as he's able to, but still being gate-kept by Cite de France, who's just going to hold this ring edge. And it's tough for Gambit because, like you said, they were at 37 coming into this game. They needed just a 13-point game to get across the threshold. Right now, that looks like it's going to be something that they can only pray for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it actually, look, it's going to be North. I believe that's going to actually get a knock on a member of Les Cite de France right now. So it's a crazy fight going on in Skyhook. Gambit, of course, is hiding in the ring as it currently stands. We're going to jump on board with Lazarus, one of our teams that made it into the top 3 2 games ago on Kings Canyon. We'll see what Lazarus can do here. Not looking good for as Jay Savage is currently knocked. His 2 teammates, Amaze and Sharp, are still alive. Former members of that mid roster that we know dominated early on in the online tournaments. One of our most consistent players, or teams, early on. Myth, of course, merged with Lazarus for his Lazarus squad. They're going to get the revive off, and it looks like that caustic meta will help them out. We'll buy them an opportunity here if it can, but it looks like Major Pushers is nearby.
Yeah, this is an area we're definitely going to be focusing on just because the areas of Countdown, Fisher, etc. heading into Skyhook are going to be a little bit crazier than the areas that we saw around the Trials Cliffs, just because this is going to be a big contention point, a big choke point, and this is where I expect the bulk of the action to happen in these next few minutes. As this thins out, we'll then see things start to pull a little bit more towards Trials and Cypress Ridge.
Exactly right. Branch is currently down. Cleave is up. Revive's going to come through. They should be clear, and I think it was Major Pushers who was just knocking on the door right there of Lazarus. But again, Caustic was the difference maker for Lazarus that kept them alive. No team could push, obviously, with Caustic canisters everywhere. So wise decision from Lazarus, kind of playing tight angles with Caustic to stay alive. Meanwhile, speaking of Caustic, our other Caustic team, it's going to be Major Pushers. They're currently in the same exact position than they were at the early game when we checked them out. Meanwhile, it looks like Leogri is eliminated. That's going to be it. Gambit is the second team out. So 2 games in a row here, Bravo. They get eliminated, and they get 0 points. That is costly for Gambit, who's at 37 points still.
One thing we got to talk about here, like we said, North is the biggest threat right now to the GSD win. And you could say that North is in the strongest position to keep this lobby alive. Do want to go to a listen in here to hear how their comms sound as they're sitting on height above GSD.
49k, 43.
PK, PogChamp.
Man, you want that PK?
Yes, later. Okay. I need that scope. Wait, who picked that? Yeah, there.
Me, it's on the drop.
Got it, got it. Man, the enemy gonna farm damage here. Kills.
Yeah, people here in the open field.
Watch out zipline. Watch out zipline, okay? Watch your GB,
Yeah.
Mandy. Watch your GB. Cracked.
Not!
Nice. Papa,
No!
I need to reload.
I need to reload too, I can't finish.
I'm trying to finish. No, the fucking building.
42, 44, I really, dude. Be ready with your port, be ready with your port, I'm getting a kill here.
Oh shit.
Okay, be ready with your port.
Yeah, I'm ready. Tashin, you gotta watch back, dude.
I'm watching back. Oh, fine.
They TP'd him up, they TP'd him up. I'm fucking coming back,
Okay,
dude.
come back.
Yeah, fuck that shit, dude.
We're good. We got our points now. We have 2 kills and we're top 14. We are match point now. Now let's just win.
Watch
so
kill
Gnaski and
feed.
those
Watch
guys
kill
can't
feed.
win.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, we need to win so Gnaski and those guys can't win. It's literally we have to.
And we get a lead also.
Yeah, we get a
Not that a
massive,
lead matters, but,
juicer
you know.
booster.
And a
Juicer
massive
abuser,
one.
man.
At least top 2, you know? At least top 2, man.
Wait, no, we're going for number 1, but
No, of course we go,
we're
bro.
securing a top 2, dude.
We need to try. How much bullets you have?
45, you want some? I give you.
How much do you have for your juice, dude? How much do you, how many, what scope do you have, I mean?
2 to 4, 2 to 4.
Okay.
I dropped you a PK on the ground, brother.
Yeah, I see.
There, just him up.
Okay.
60.
Look at that guy. I'm gonna move so I don't block you.
I might get a kill here.
Oh yeah?
I need you, Mandy.
I'm with you, baby.
Wait,
I cracked him.
I can't look everywhere, dude.
Okay,
No, just look side, man. You're fine.
Yeah, sorry.
I almost got a kill here.
I'm coming to you.
Oh, you go.
Wait,
You go.
here. I have sniper.
He's so low. What's that so low here? I hit her like 20 flash.
On jaw.
Oh yeah, don't have.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
have on side.
Ooh.
There's a Gibby here, I think. I didn't see the Gibby move yet.
Okay.
Yo, if you guys charge your evos to red, you should maybe get me an evo to red as well.
Free kill.
I'm coming.
Okay. Crack that!
Nice! It's Gambit as well. Alliance is dead. Gambit's dead.
3 kills.
Yeah.
Half on the crack.
OS
He
dead.
got knocked.
Ness is dying.
They're dead. All these guys on the side. They can still crawl
TI
up here
dead.
from our side.
Look at the zone. We're above.
We're staying above.
We're in this. TI is dead as well.
Look
Where's
this,
GSD?
Andy.
Yeah, I see him.
What a brilliant listen-in right there. One, because it's hilarious. It's actually comedy every time we jump into a listen-in with North, and then you wonder why they have one of the largest fan bases in Twitch chatting in general. But look at this finish, Bravo. You heard them say, we have to find GSD. Are they out? Alliance is out. Gambit is out. Where's GSD? We can't let them win. And then, of course, they said, no, screw it. We're going for first place. But GSD is so perfectly positioned. The decision and the shot call to rotate to trials early may secure the win for Nasky, Strafey, and Dell.
And keep in mind, AHG is still alive just on that outer exit of trials as well. Got to echo you. Amazing listen in there with the north side. It's also the first time I've heard I'm with you, baby, in a listen in, which is pretty fantastic as well. Love what I'm hearing from that side in terms of North. But North is very aware of what's going on below them. That GSD is the team that's looking to steal this tournament. You have to believe that every team has kept a very close eye on that kill feed. They have not seen GSD in there, and they know that they are still alive within the ring. North might be the only team that knows exactly where they are. And to be honest, I don't even know if we heard in comms that they knew that they were directly, that GSD was the team that was in trial just because of how early GSD did rotate in. Expect GSD to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're just getting a quick glance at GSD. Not a lot going on here in trials as they were smart. They rotated there early, and I don't know if anyone in the lobby knows that GSD is the team that's there. You know, because keep in mind, they dropped Fragment. So a lot of people are probably going to assume teams that drop Northwest probably have trials. It probably isn't GSD, but guess what? GSD is too good. They're too smart. They rotated there too quick, and now they're in a good position with 5 squads remaining to make history, to have the fastest match point victory in 5 games in the history of Apex. This beautiful match point format is so incredibly hype, and GSD has the chance to make history here, but North is trying to shut it down.
This is going to get so interesting how North plays this. This is such a unique scenario. We are so lucky to have GSD inside low trials, all these teams fighting outside, and North being the big hope. How North plays this could be a huge determining factor of if this tournament ends right here and right now.
He just Kobe'd the hell out of that grenade. It's going to connect for 200 damage almost. Beautiful bank nade coming through from Nasky. Looking like Kobe in the 2000s. Beautiful grenade design. They're not going to follow up on that damage, but that damage will help them continually level up their Evo shield. That is important, and that might be the difference here. They're not going to have 125 Evo. And it looks like this North is actually going to drop on them. They are pushing GSD. They may know, they may have the intel that GSD is right below them. All eyes on Strafey.
Take a look at this. North does decide to drop just as GSD was fighting. North sees that they're fighting on that western angle outside the door. They take the opportunity to use that to drop, and now holding Trials themselves. This is a little bit better for the rest of the lobby. Now you finally have GSD instead kind of trapped on this low ground, and now GSD actually going to be the team that makes the move outside.
And GSD wants to control their own fate. It looks like the Evo shield swap is going to come through for Strafey. Good opportunity here. GSD says, hey, we are winning this game ourselves by taking out every single member of Ad Hoc Gaming. Lucky for them, there was only 2 members alive. Now, GSD getting hunted. 2 squads remain. It comes down to this. North versus Nasty, Strafey, and Dell for the win.
I cannot believe that it came down to this fashion here. Big reset moment here for GSD. No pushes coming in. They're going to get their Phoenixes off. All these heals are going to come through. Medkit for Nasky as well. Just like that, it's a 3v3. You could not write a better story here. GSD in position to win this tournament. It's a straight 3v3. North versus Nasky, Strafey, and Dell.
That's exactly right. Look at this. North playing off their back foot. They might be banking on a heal-off.
No.
This game is going to end in a heal-off. You can hardly believe what we're seeing. It's going to come down to whoever has the better heals, whoever can survive. North said, we don't want this smoke. They played on their back foot. They backed off, and they left it to the Apex gods. This will never happen again in Apex history. I can guarantee it. A heal-off for the victory between North and GSD.
And this is a screenshot of a ring that you might expect to see on Twitter after scrim results. So there's not a lot of playable area here at all to play with. And you called it perfectly, Fallout. GSD putting their fate in their own hands. North, in the end, despite dropping into Trials, not finding themselves a way out and pushing that issue, and instead risking it up to a heal-off, which is wild. You have to think in terms of a coin flip here in Apex Legends. It likely would have been better decision to push on that as GSD was pushing outside. Might have been a better opportunity. Pre-port does go down for RPR. They're going to set that portal. They're going to maybe be ready to fly through here. This is wild.
And so actually North is going to play aggressive here. They're going to let one person stay for the heal off, and they're going to set the other 2 flurry, and that's it! Nasky, Strafey, and Dell do it! They are your champions of the EMEA Super Regionals in the Summer Circuit. You can hardly believe it. They played perfect in their last tournament as a team, in their last opportunity to cement their legacy just before Strafey goes to the Navi organization. Congratulations to Nasty, Strafey, and Dell on making history, on doing it in 5 games. One of the best teams who have ever played Apex Legends. Nasty, Strafey, and Dell does it.
I cannot believe what we just saw. I think I'm speechless. I'm sure viewers at home likely are as well. And the rest of the EMEA lobby, let me tell you, similar to the Americas, but even more so is speechless because that tournament was just ripped out from under them. Just like that, they do it in a record-breaking 5 games. Nasky, Strafey, and Dell are going to go ahead and take the entire tournament there. That was their first game on match point, and I think also for the first time in history of Fallout, they're the first team ever to win as the only team on match point in the end. And I cannot believe that North played that the way they did. GSD, like you said, controlled their own fate. They got outside. They forced that issue. And in the end, North did not want it to come to a heal-off. RPR instead tries to fly out and make a Hail Mary portal play. It doesn't work out, and it seems like due to their rotations, the match is just handed to GSD. They got where they needed to be. They played that perfectly, and they let the match fall apart around them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's the thing. GSD was so ready. They had all the Watson fences up. They had the Arc Star propped. And just like that, GSD got what was probably the easiest 3 versus 3 win they could have gotten. And again, the way that they did it, Bravo, you hit the nail on the head. And we've been talking about it a lot. They controlled their own fate. They could have easily played scared. They could have played not to lose. Instead, they played to win. They pushed Ad Hoc Gaming. They got 3 Evo shields. And then North had a chance to take the fight. North had a clean 3 versus 3 fight. They got scared, backed up back inside Trials, and then realized, wait, that probably wasn't the best decision, and tried to make up for their mistake. But unfortunately, it was too little too late, and they came out with the loss. And I wonder, Bravo, what would have happened if that heal-off came? I feel like the extra part of that radius went to North. North had more space to breathe there. I know Nasky, Strafey, and Dell did have the Pathfinder zipline, which could have gotten them high ground on that mountain and maybe bought them some time if they would have found maybe a ledge to heal off of. But I think North would have won that heal off, Bravo.
I mean, I think North, North had only so much information about how many teams were around them, how many teams were low, et cetera, and whether or not it was GSD that was directly below them. without maybe realizing all of that. Of course, we as observers, as viewers, as casters, we have all of the information. How North played that truly determined how that tournament was going to play out. Now, GSD did make the big move to get out, but you have to think if North instead tried to swing around and maybe drop down on AHG to win that battle outside, to then hold outside, that was an opportunity as well. In the end, they do force AHG into that pinpoint position, and thinking they had sandwiched that quite well. Surprising to see them not make the move. You saw how long there was full Phoenix being popped outside by the side of GSD. They had to take time to reset. We saw Phoenix's medkits, big heals that were coming in. There was an opportunity for North to time that. In the end, though, AHG just times their pushes so perfectly back and forth, and they really controlled and dictated the end of that game and left North completely handcuffed in a way where they had to set a portal that they never would have wanted to set in an end circle. I think that also neither of the teams would have expected, and really in the end, what an event there to have North up top, and they make the right play to drop. In the end, though, I think GSD, they earned it with their early rotate. As you mentioned, they're a fragment team. They made big, early, fast rotate all the way across Epicenter, up Skyhook North, through the station, down into Trials. It was not a linear route. It was a perfect one that was taken, and they absolutely earned that win. And talk about teams like CLG and GSD even more so, striking when the iron is hot. This shows the talent of these teams. We're not going 11 games in a match point format anymore. We're getting, as soon as a few teams are on match point, one of these teams clutches up, and GSD does it in I'd say the most beautiful fashion possible. The only team that can win, and on their first opportunity, they do it. It's remarkable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we could talk about the gameplay. We could dissect it till we're blue in the face, but let's just take a step back to talk about what matters the most: the story, the history, and the legacy of this Nasky, Strafey, and Dell organization. Top tier orgs, are you awake yet? GSD is the best team in Europe, hands down, bar none. They, of course, are losing Strafey, but you better wake up. You better sign this team, because officially, Nasky, Strafey, and Dell, I believe, are the most winningest team in the recent modern era, post preseason, of course, in Apex Legends in Europe. They have won 3 championships. That's right. 1 in online tournaments, 1 in the Summer Circuit Super Regionals, and now they are the champions of the Summer Circuit playoffs. What a showing. What a legacy. What a dynasty here for this Nasky, Strafey, and Dell squad. The question is now, Bravo, we're going to transition this discussion for the next few weeks. Who are they going to pick up to fill this massive void that the Ukrainian Strafey leaves in going to Na'Vi? And was that the right decision by Na'Vi? Should Na'Vi just pick up this Nasky, Strafey, and Dell team instead is the big question. As Na'Vi's underperformed consistently, Nasky, Strafey, and Dell has dominated for the last six months, Bravo.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny just how well they've played, and also just their shot calling at the end. And they didn't panic. As soon as they were instead trapped in that doorway, they were the sandwich in that situation. They took a lot of thermite damage as well. They had to reset not once but twice in the end to close out that game. And I'm just really impressed, and I can't wait to go back and watch the VOD there just to see how those exact moments played out. And I think North is also going to go back and wonder, in one of those opportunities, should they have pushed? Now, keep in mind, we did not see the North side. Maybe there was a bit of burning going on there. Maybe there was some damage that made it so that the push really didn't make sense. But in the end, certainly both teams going to be looking back at that play, certainly with different perspectives on exactly how it played out. But I just am so impressed with the fact that GSD is able to step up. You had asked me before the game, do I think they could do it? And of course I said they're a team that's capable of, but think about what has to happen. And even with that big wide rotation that they pull it off, that's the type of thing. We said it yesterday about CLG. If they don't win there's a very strong likelihood that they don't win this tournament, just because how Apex games go at a 20-team Battle Royale lobby. But to step up when it matters most and to strike like that, with that, I mean, you had Kick, Ad Hoc Gaming, North all in that final circle, and to win in the way that they did, and to be just a team that makes that push. They did not let them get themselves stuck inside. They didn't force the North battle. Instead, they play the man advantage, and then in the end, simply due to rotations, win the game. Seriously, a very impressive stuff. And I think, once again, it's a similar story to the Americas. We're kind of cut short. These tournaments are ending so fast because these teams are so talented and stepping up when they need to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And great gameplay. And you said it in the pregame, you said it is so statistically unlikely for Nasky, Strafey, and Dell to do it. And guess what? They still persevered. They still managed to do it in the most unlikely way, in the most impossible way, in the most difficult way that, again, we will likely never see again in the history of Apex, potentially. Nasky, Strafey, and Dell are your champions. They did it the right way. They were as stylish as it gets about their approach, always positive on Twitter, working hard, improving every tournament, and they were as savage as it gets in their gameplay with such aggression. Speaking of stylish, speaking of savage, let's give a big thank you to Lenovo Legion, our premier partner for the Apex Legends Global Series, as we throw it back to the desk.
Lenovo Legion. Gaming PCs that are stylish on the outside and savage on the inside. Lenovo Legion is the official PC and monitor of Apex Legends Global Series.
From the outside, who would know what lies beneath? Unleash it with a machine as savage as you are.
This is how legends are made.
Lenovo Legion. Stylish outside, savage inside.
All I have to say, Tom, is GG to GSD. I'll be honest, I 100% shed a tear because I could not stop myself. Fallout is absolutely right. That context, that story behind this incredible team has just been out of control to watch and certainly to unfold in the most unique way possible here in our Game 5 finals.
Yeah, if Navi knows what's good to him, they're on the phone with their lawyers right now. Like, guys, let's get the whole team signed like 1,000% because these guys just brought in the big bucks. They just won 36 grand. So congrats to them. But more importantly, they're the summer circuit champions, and they did it in such dominating world record fashion. 5 games, just absolutely insane. But it has to start with Dell in that game win in Kings Canyon, where he was able to just 1 versus 1, whatever it was, the third party, the solo third party, winning the 1 versus 1. Tremendous job by him, gave the team confidence to go and just play at the highest level. And hey, Nasky, you're welcome for not putting you on the top 5 teams to watch. Didn't want to curse you.
Yeah, it's sort of like that Madden curse, right? We talked about that. At any rate, there had to have been so many things that went right for Nasky, Strafe, and Dell. There had to be so many things that went right for these 3, for this squad. I think about the zone predictions. I think about their prediction, even in the final circle, that led to them over north. I mean, I feel like, Tom, in this way specifically, there had to be so many things that went right, and so many of them did. But before we go into that a little bit farther, let's get into those Game 5 results, because I know we want to see, not just we know who's got first, let's see who's second, third, fourth. Here we go. Oh, wow, look at Kick. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Kick picked up so many points right there. LG probably would have put themselves on match point fairly soon, and that's why it's so important for GSD to come out here and get that W. Playing lower trials was extremely smart. North dropping down was a big mistake. If they would have held the high ground there, it could have been a different story for them. To me, it was like North almost said, hey, that's GSD. We're in second, right? What if we just send it on GSD and take second place? Does that work? I guess so, because that portal play, like Fallout was saying, it seemed like they were going to be able to win that heal off. So a misplay by North there, but you can't take anything away from GSD. They executed when they needed to. They made the big brain plays, and Dell earlier, again on Kings Canyon, just popping off, giving his team confidence.
Absolutely. And I think, once again, coming back to those zone rotations and really making the correct predictions. And as Fallout mentioned, of course, that's really experience level. That's really what that means. Is that correct, Tom? Would you say experience is really the thing that brings that into the fold?
Yeah, experience is huge, and also the way that they played that one, laying low, staying low key, staying off the kill feed. No teams knew that they were bottom trials, so they didn't get third party, they didn't get charged. No teams were sending on it because so many teams, different teams could have griefed what they were doing and stopped them from getting that W. So they just, appeared nameless for quite some time, and then they came out and showed what they were made of with their individual skill and teamwork, just coming out there, playing together as a unit, making fast decisions, and just making sure that they were doing it together. I think that's the key point. No matter what decision you're doing, do it as a unit.
Well, and they made that abundantly clear, and they definitely showcased exactly how to thread the needle Apex style. So, I mean, at this point, sorry, I think I was still taking notes at that point. I was still sitting there going, okay, who are you going to do? Who's going to be there? And it's just like the Americas. I was totally blown off guard, and I absolutely love that for us today, and certainly for our EMEA region. Let's take a look at the entire overall standings, because that's going to show us who is taking home what kind of moolah. Okay, we knew Nasky, Strafe, and Dell. North for sure. Anything here that's surprising you?
Well, Kick just hit that 50-point threshold, so feels bad, man, for them. That's tough. They just get to match point, and they're not able to do anything with it. North they make their way over towards there with that second place. They're going to end up taking second overall, but that overall points standings is going to be what your leaderboard is overall. So Nasky, Strafe, and Dell, 71 points. Congratulations to them. And 71 points after 5 games is just phenomenal. It didn't matter what the format was today. GSD said we're taking this one. So tough luck for teams like Gambit, teams like Alliance, teams like LG. We had them on their teams to watch. They weren't able to have their best day. Unfortunately, it was GSD coming through for the rest of these guys. They weren't ready for how well they were going to be playing and how tough these guys were going to be. And again, you just can't give enough credit to Dell for the way that he was able to win that game in game number 3 and just propel these guys to victory.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go back to everything having to go right and them having to play their best. Things that we have to remember, of course, we take a global view. We're in season 6. We've got some new meta. We got some new, we've got some nerfs. We got some buffs. We have some changes there, which again, one of the things I love about esports is that we can change up that meta. We can change up things in the middle of our competition, and everybody has to get used to it. Everybody's got to find their way through, and that's what Nasky, Strafe, and Dell have done. And I'll tell you, it's just out of control. And more importantly, I think one of the best things we can do now is to really showcase that win that Nasky, Strafe, and Dell had, and that is what we're going to do right now. Check this out.
Nice.
Don't
nice.
celebrate yet.
Why,
Come on.
please, Dell. Like, Nas. I have this angle. I will stay here.
Just I need a master.
Are we in? Are we? Is it like where is
We're
it?
in here. Yeah, we're in somewhere here.
Move
On me.
on.
I'll move forward.
It's right here on me. It's right here on this fence.
Yeah, I don't need to do anything. They come to us and we fight them. That's it.
No,
They
I
can't
think
go up,
you do
right? They
portal
can't go
anyway.
up.
I think you do
For
portal
what?
anyway.
Just
The
make
portal in, the portal in.
Yeah, we have to kill them. They don't even make it the whole way.
One down.
We won!
We won, guys.
GG's!
We won.
Fucking
We won the
nice.
tourney. We just won $36,000.
36.
I've never seen anyone so calm and winning $36,000 in my life.
Well, and that's another way that showcases exactly what they had to do things right. And you know what? Playing under extreme pressure, that's a $36,000 prize pool. That's the top of a prize pool, I should say. They had the pressure, they had the means, and they executed. And they did so even when you could hear it in the comms, there was some discrepancy about what they're going to do, where they're going to go. And they still brought it out on top. I am sitting here just delighted and dumbfounded in the best possible way, and to showcase exactly what these guys can do, Tom.
Yeah, and I love how he goes, "Don't celebrate yet. It's not over." And he's, "We won, guys. We won.
We won."
It's
And
cool.
that's experience,
It's cool.
exactly.
It's like they knew they were gonna win. But yeah, it's funny that Nasky DMs me yesterday and had a change of heart where he's like, "We're not feeling too confident," and then maybe a couple hours later, he's like, "Never mind. We're really confident."
Well, you know what? Let's we've been talking about Nasky for sure, but let's talk about Dell. And I think we've actually got our moment of the match brought to you by Lenovo Legion, our official PC and monitor sponsor here for the ALGS. This is actually going to be at the end of Game 3 that really showcases Dell just going off. Let's take a look. And talk me through this, Tom. Apologies there.
Yeah,
Here we
no
go.
worries. I was
a good one.
waiting for this one to start because I can't wait to see what Dell's point of view looks like. You can see the notorious, devious rat strategies that they go and use here. It's a 2-man squad of GSD, 3-man for Flavor of the Month. You have 3-man for Gambit. So this is where the big 2 versus 3 happens, where it ends up being a knock, and you see Nasky's already dead. So you're gonna have Dell just one sliver of health right there, and if he dies, 4th place is not even close to what they get this game. So he picks up a handful of kill points right there. He ends up getting the shield swap off, and this is where he's still a sliver of health away. So he's only what, 125, 126 HP going against someone that's gonna be 225, and he's still able to do it. Great massive shots here. If you remember, he ends up switching to his wingman to finish the final kill, but popping the shields right here is what ends up doing it for him, where he realizes that he has this one. This player didn't even hit him, didn't sneeze on him, didn't do any type of damage, and Dell takes that one. GSD really starts to feel themselves after that, and they get $36,000 in the bank.
$36,000. And of course, the title of Summer Circuit Champions here for our EMEA region. And in record form, as Fallout mentioned, my gosh, 5 games. Remember, we have already seen Apex South, Apex North, and we've already seen the Americas. And to be honest with you, they all went much farther in our game count. We were prepared to go as far as we needed to. The preseason invitational in Poland last year, a day ago last year, went to 11 games, triple-digit points. And here they are coming at it with massive momentum that clearly paid off. Let's take a look, though, because I love we talk about the teams. We've been talking, and it's easy to talk about the individuals in Nasky, Strafe, and Dell because that's part of their team name for sure. But let's talk about the kill points for individuals because that's going to be really telling as well to see who had a great chance here today. Talk to me there, Tom.
Yeah, it's surprising not to see GSD over in the top 3. It's going to be LG Sanya coming in first place, tied with 12. So great job there. But again, it's a team effort. Individual kills, while it is great, I guarantee that Sanya would go and trade this MVP for a win, because when you look at the MVP, it has to be Dell, even though he had 9 kills overall, picking up a majority of those in King's Canyon, coming out hot there with the win in that final moment of match number 3. But just a great job all around by all these players making it over towards the top. But there wasn't many kill opportunities because this just flew by. 5 games, world record pace there for GSD. Fantastic job.
100%. And you know, it's one of those things that you're one of these things that the kill count can really showcase is exactly how strategy plays such a big part. You can run and gun, you can frag, you can be that point leader, you can be that kill leader, and that's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But you're absolutely right, Tom. You know, I'm sure LG's player wanted to, you know, would much prefer being in GSD's position right now than they would at the top of that MVP count, because it takes a lot of patient timing to get this far, and certainly to get to the top of a leaderboard faster than any other team that we've had here today. Well, that is it for our gameplay, but guess what? You guys have been following along with us in our community all over the world, all day, all weekend. You've been up almost as long as Fallout and some of our crew members, but today we've got some tweets for you, our last tweet of our summer circuit, and I just want to showcase that right here, right now. Tom, oh, look at this. A little legend is living.
Look at the little guy.
Look at the scopes out and everything. He is learning. That's fantastic. Well done, Gavin. Well done.
And he's got a 0 gravity chair too, just coming out hot with the smart situational awareness here, protecting the back early. Always a smart play.
I'm sensing a theme here, Tom. We got some cute kids fueling up while watching ALGS. That is a good breakfast, a breakfast of champions, one might say. Let's take a look. Thank you so much, Zach, for joining us and for getting that 1,000 Apex coins. Oh, lazy Sundays. Oh, what a cutie pie. What an adorable little muffin.
That's what I'm about to do right after this cast, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna take my blanket, lay down, maybe watch the rebroadcast, watch some more
Absolutely. ALGS. I love this. ALGS Summer Circuit Playoffs. EMEA Congrats history game all time. As they mentioned in our casting pairs, this was going to be what people would tag, what was going to be on Reddit. This is exactly what's going to be tweeted, and guess what? They did it. Thank you so much, Believed. Really appreciate you watching with us, and certainly appreciate that final circle little diagram there. So that's amazing. My gosh, Tom, I mean, I don't even know what to say, and that's good because we've actually got something I can say. Because as we mentioned, Lenovo Legion is our official PC and monitor sponsor here, our official PC and monitors for the Apex Legends Global Series. They've been kind enough to outfit us with the Legion 7i that's rocking an i7 processor and a RTX 2080 Super Max Q. Whew, that's a lot of words, but it is a beast of a laptop, and it's certainly what's helping us come from our homes straight into yours. But they've also got one more thing that we want to talk about, Tom. Are you ready for this? Hold on. It's actually on your screen.
Yeah, that's the giveaway, right? Are we doing that thing?
Oh, sure, indeed we are. And here's how it works. You're going to enter Lenovo Legion's Summer Circuit giveaway. Your chance to win a free Lenovo Legion 5. I visit twitter.com, as you can see right there on our screen, twitter.com/Lenovo Legion for details. A huge thank you to Lenovo for coming alongside this broadcast and making sure we are showing you exactly all the drama, all the fun, and all the action from our homes to yours, as we mentioned. And My goodness. The last of it is to say, if you want to follow us on Twitter, @PlayApex, use the hashtag ALGS. You want to follow us on Twitch? Well, we're there for you as well. Twitch.tv/PlayApex. And of course, we've got a YouTube, Play Apex Compete, youtube.com/PlayApex Compete. Make sure to follow us on all the channels, all the socials. This is going to be where you're going to go. And hey, if you want to find yourself as part of our teams to watch, as part of our lobby, as part of this epicness that is the Apex Legends Global Series, well, we might be able to accommodate that. Head on over to playapex.com/ALGS, battlefy.com/ALGS. Remember, we are here, we are happy, we are happening, and my goodness, it could not be a better time to join the Apex family.
Yeah, get ready because the autumn circuit's coming up here in a couple of weeks, everybody. I think registration is over towards the tail end of this month, so get your squads.
And there it is. It's September 22nd. Remember, battlefy.com/ALGS and playapex.com/ALGS. Well, I think that's all I've got. Tom, any last and final words that you'd like to... Oh, I do not... Wait, Tom, before you go there. I know I'm actually going to stop you even before I went there.
Yeah, but what about Madden? Kate, don't you have...
God, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked because Madden is starting September 15th, just around the corner. We have all of the action. Tune in on must-watch Tuesday nights. Didn't know you're going to have to watch on Tuesday nights? Well, guess what? This is what your Tuesday nights should be all about. As the Madden NFL 21 Championship Series kicks off with 2 brand new weekly shows. Live coverage begins 8 p.m. Eastern with King of the Hill. Madden pros and NFL rookies each compete in their own gauntlet tournaments, followed by Derwin James versus the world, where the LA Chargers star, safety, and best NFL Madden player takes on the biggest musicians, celebrities, and athletes week after week. You can catch all that action on twitch.tv/EA Madden NFL and Madden Competitive Gaming on YouTube. Guys, it's a much watch for Tuesday nights. It's fun, it's fabulous, and it's Madden. Could I say anything more? Now, Tom, is the question, do you have anything left to say to our audience of global Apex fans?
Yeah, big shout out to all the fans. Big shout out to everybody that's watching, to all the players, all the organizations that are involved, to the crew, to UK, all the casters, the production crew, EA, Respawn, everybody involved, to Lenovo, our sponsor. And you'll see everybody in autumn. Appreciate you all.
Man, thank you so much. And what he said, have a great day, guys.